Because
for
I
the
put
longest time.
roast beef on. They are not. These are made of soup pant material. Like khakis.
Do you ever wear sweats?
Oh yeah, I only ever wear sweats except when I'm here. Okay, or when I'm at church, which is every day of the week.
Last
No.
week.
Anyway, it's chemistry time. We're talking about Chapter 9 vocabulary. Chapter 9 review. Mitch, stop talking. Everyone gets you. Get your gum out. Yes, that's acceptable. Let's begin with number 60. Now let's do it in alphabetical order. So, Lily, Peyton, Mitch. Worked out perfect.
L and L. Yep.
So Mitch and Peyton have to switch spots.
No,
What?
this is my chair.
Lily, Mitch, Peyton is how it should be.
L.
In.
And OP.
So, Kate. Good thing they're on wheels. Let me get mine. That isn't on wheels on your way. Mitch is obstinate. And Mitch has gone to the point where he is obstinate just to test people. He's like, I'm going to do this just to see if someone's going to get mad at me because I know I'm the golden child. Okay, number 60, Lily.
He's kind of hot.
What do the arrows and coefficients in equations communicate?
Oh my god.
Arrows in chemical equations stand for yields. On the left side of the yield sign are the reactants, and on the right side are the products. The coefficients are used to multiply reactants and products in order to balance the equation.
Very good. I need to scooch over my face won't be
Is
seen.
it my turn?
There.
Yeah, we need to read out what books. So.
64.
Oh, do you guys all just want to share one book?
Yeah.
This is like a what's it called when three people sing a thing? A truette?
A trio.
A trio. It's like you guys are singing a trio.
I get the cool thing.
No.
No.
It's Lily's purple book. It's
Yeah.
There you go.
Can you still see it, Lily? You guys are gonna have to get somewhat cozy, but that's okay.
Balance the reaction of hydrogen sulfide with atmospheric oxygen gas.
Why do you think it specified atmospheric oxygen gas first of all?
So you know to put O2.
So you know to put O2. Otherwise it would have said ozone or it would have said free radical oxygen. Anyway, go on.
So the balanced form is 2 in front of the H2S plus 3 O2 yields 2 SO2 plus 2 H2O.
Very good.
Peyton, it's your turn.
Thank you, Mitch.
She knows.
65. Write word equations for the following skeletal equations. A, CUS plus O2G.
You don't say those little things. Like if you had to say something, you would say solid copper plus gaseous oxygen yields solid copper 2 oxide. But you don't usually just say them at all. Like you just leave them off for the most part.
For A, I got copper plus oxygen yields copper 2 oxide.
Yeah, so I already just told you the answer actually. Lily, next.
Okay, I said potassium plus water yields potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen.
Good. Have you seen that? That was what our YouTube video was about last week where he blew it up and there was a fire. That's because of the hydrogen gas, which is explosive. We should do that in the lab.
Let's do it right now.
Yes.
Let's just bring all the dangerous stuff in
Yes.
here and
Yeah.
film it so that the floor can start.
I'll just
fire.
hold that camera.
No.
Please.
Well, we'll see. Not right now. We'll do the chapter review first, and then if there's time, or maybe when the girls get back, the other girls get back, I should say, then we can
Mitch is
do
the
that.
only boy.
I'm going on strike. C.
Of course you were.
Calcium chloride plus sodium sulfate yields calcium sulfate plus sodium chloride.
Good.
66. Balance the following reactions. NH4 2 Cr2O7 yields Cr2O3 plus N2 plus 4H2O.
You mean 2 and 2 probably to balance it, right?
Ouch.
Would you have a 2 and 2? There should be a 2 in front of the 2 and 2 to balance it.
Okay.
Because see, you have 4. No, this is right.
What are you doing, Peyton?
Yeah.
This is right. Why is mine wrong?
Oh, okay.
You guys just have no 2 in front of the N2
No, I
also?
don't have a two.
And it is balanced, isn't it? Where's my pen? I have to change this in the book.
So is this supposed to taste marshmallows?
Yes.
It has marshmallow root, but marshmallows don't have marshmallow root.
It's marshmallow.
The marshmallows are named that because of marshmallow root. Like they originally did have marshmallow root. They don't now
What do
because
they taste like with marshmallow root? Marshmallow root?
marshmarow root. But
Now they're
it's like
made out of
artificial
pig
marshmallow flavoring is supposed to taste like marshmallow, but this has actual marshmallow in it. Marshmallow is called that because it's a mallow that grows in the marsh.
Oh.
But the
Anyway,
marshmallows you eat are made out of pig feet.
well, they're made of gelatin, which is made out of all different kinds of collagen. It can be sourced from pig feet or
Or
hooves
snout.
or pig snout. Anything that has collagen. You could use human ears.
66B.
You could use
Nose.
only the ears of
Let's-
83-year-old women if you wanted. You
Let's
could make
try it.
marshmallows out of that. But
That's
let's don't.
funny.
They have to be processed.
That's
Let's move on.
Nice.
This is none of that is what this is about. What I wanted you to do for 66 also, because I think it'll be significantly more difficult, is say the word equations for 66A. What is it? You should know it from your book.
Ammonium.
2.
Ammonium
Don't say
You have to say that.
chromate.
Dichromate. Thank you, Lily. Ammonium dichromate
Yields.
yields. Sometimes I would say even the yields is not wrong. It isn't wrong, but specifically because this is one substance turning into more than one substance, you might even say decomposes into. So ammonium dichromate decomposes into
Chromium.
chromium. Yeah.
Chromium is that a poly?
It's a transition, so you have to
Okay. 3 oxide
yes
plus
Nitrogen.
nitrogen gas
Plus what?
water vapor. Why water vapor? Why can't you
It's
just say
gaseous.
It's not wrong to say water, but yeah, since it's a gas, we have to say water vapor. What does the fact that it's water vapor tell you about this chemical reaction, which we haven't talked about yet, but was your vocab word?
That it's, we did talk about it. It starts with an S, right?
No. I
Oh.
think you might be thinking of the wrong thing. And you maybe aren't. I don't know for that for sure. But I think in this chapter, wasn't some of your vocab words in this chapter endothermic and exothermic, or was that in
No,
the
that
last
was the
chapter?
last chapter.
Okay, but now I want to talk about endothermic and exothermic, which is that one of the ways we can tell that this was an exothermic reaction is that the water being produced is in the gas form. But there must be enough energy also being released that the water boils. So this is an exothermic reaction. Exothermic means it releases heat. What is? Please stop looking at that and look at your books. Gosh, this is like it's like on the TV show when the kids are looking at the camera and you don't want them to. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh,
Anyway,
kindergarten cup?
sure. Anyway, that was not what I was thinking. But that's okay. But exothermic reactions are those that release heat. You can, in an exothermic chemical reaction, you can think of heat as a product, like it's producing heat. It's not a product because heat is not a chemical substance. Or in an endothermic reaction, it's absorbing heat. What do exothermic reactions feel like? If you were to touch,
Hot.
yeah, they feel hot. What does an endothermic reaction feel like?
Cold.
Cold. It's absorbing energy from your hands. Okay, next.
Okay. Do you want me to read it in words or?
No,
Okay.
just say the balanced first,
Okay.
and then we'll have Mitch read it in words.
Okay. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O yields C6H12O6 plus 6 O2.
Yes. What is that, Mitch? Do the word equations and then Peyton, you say the name of the reaction.
Oh no.
Go on, Mitch.
What do you mean?
Say the word equation for 66B, and then the reaction has its own special name that Peyton is going to tell us when you're done. So say the word equation.
That wasn't part of the assignment, mister.
Please do it.
I don't know.
Well, you know the first one, I bet.
Chromate.
Oh, he does not know the first
Wait, no. For B.
one. B, Mitch.
Well, yeah, that wasn't A either.
You don't know what
Well,
CO2 is?
You don't know what
Carbon
CO2 is?
dioxide?
Chromite.
Dioxide. Carbon dioxide.
Oh, I thought you
Dioxide
wanted
plus
water equals whatever that polyatomic ion
No,
is.
it's not
plus
polyatomic ion, it's
oxygen.
glucose sugar. Glucose sugar plus oxygen. And Lily already knows all of this. She had done this in her head 30 seconds after I assigned it to both of you. So you say it again, Mitch, this time in the right way.
CO2 plus.
No!
carbon dioxide.
I know, Peyton.
CO2.
Carbon dioxide plus water equals
Yields.
yields glucose plus oxygen.
And the name of this, Peyton, is?
Is it combustion?
No, it's
Double.
almost the
Wrong.
exact opposite of
Wrong.
combustion.
Exact opposite.
Those are the types, but there's a specific name for this one. You could best qualify
Single
this
replacement.
one as double replacement if you had to. But that's not what I'm asking. This has a specific name. This specific chemical reaction has a name, and you know it. You'll know it when I say
Is this
it.
the S one?
Oh no! I
What
know.
is it?
I know. Don't say it.
Let's see
It's,
if Lily knows.
cellular.
No, it isn't.
Photosynthesis.
It's photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, the plant takes
How'd
in
you
carbon
think I knew
dioxide.
that?
You do.
Because it's
You know that plants take in
Eighth grade
carbon
math.
dioxide and water,
Science.
and they make glucose, sugar, and oxygen. You know that.
that's photosynthesis.
It's photosynthesis. If it were the other way around, if it were just these
Then it would
products
be
as
cellular
reactants, or if we just flip
respiration.
this arrow, then it would be cellular respiration. Do plants do photosynthesis?
Yes.
Yes.
Do plants cellular respire?
Sometimes
Yes.
All the time. That's how they live. They just make their own glucose sugar
they
too.
just have to do both.
Yep. Not all plants, but plants all have to respire, and only some have to photosynthesize. Some things like there are some kinds of plants. I'm trying to think of what specifically. Spanish moss almost does, but that's not quite right. But there are some plants that only get their energy from other plants that are called epiphytes. Please stop looking at that. You already know what you look like. You all look very
Technically, when
nice.
you look at it, you can't even see yourself anyways.
Well, I can. I can see you all. My lips look really red today. I wonder why that is. Oh, I put on my lipstick this morning. That's why. Okay, next. No, I did not. I would
67.
never. I don't paint my
Hydrogen
face.
iodide gas breaks down into hydrogen gas and iodine gas during a decomposition reaction. Write a skeleton equation for this reaction. HI yields I plus H. H plus I.
Well, the order doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
But what's the matter with what she said? It's okay, Peyton, but you're almost right. HI yields,
H2 plus I2.
yeah, they're
Oh.
both diatomic. H2 plus I2. Not everything is diatomic, Peyton, but those, remember, the things that are diatomic, there are 7. Hydrogen is always diatomic. If you ever are writing just hydrogen in your equation, you're wrong. It should be H2.
Oxygen.
Then nitrogen, oxygen, and then fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. And the way you can remember is that it kind of looks like a 7 over there, and there's hydrogen off in the corner. Okay, next.
68. Ouch. Write skeleton equations for these reactions. A. Sodium carbonate yields decomposes into sodium
Very good.
oxide plus carbon dioxide. Alright. Na2CO3 yields Na, or do you want me to say decomposes? Decomposes.
Either way's fine.
Na2O plus CO2.
Very good.
68B. Al plus I yields AlI3. Oh, I'm supposed to balance.
No, they don't have to be balanced, but why?
I2.
Shouldn't it be
Yeah, it should be
I2?
I2, but what else is wrong with with Mitch's methodology?
What?
Should it be
It's
Mitch did
my-
not read the question first before he said the answer, Mitch.
Oh, yeah.
Been here long enough to know that. I've been
Take your
teaching you
hood
since
off,
7th
Mr.
grade.
Cool.
Mitch is too cool to do things the right way the first time. He's testing to see if someone's going to ask him to do it right. Mitch, please read the question first and then say your answer. Let's try it live.
Write the skeleton equations for these reactions.
Okay.
Al plus
No. Read the thing first.
Read this.
Write the skeleton
No,
equations
this
for
right
these
here.
reactions.
Right here. Before my
I'm doing the
fingers.
whole thing like I'm instructed to do.
Well, that is not what you're supposed to do, but that's fine. Go on.
B, aluminum parentheses S other parentheses plus iodine parentheses S plus other parentheses. Arrow
Other
which
parentheses.
means equals aluminum iodide left parenthesis S right parentheses.
Very good.
Done.
Good. And you had already said that answer. Good. Peyton, please
68.
correctly do 68.
Yeah.
Don't forget the parentheses.
Iron 2 oxide plus
Forgot the
oxygen
parentheses.
yields iron 3 oxide. And I have Fe. I don't know if this is right. FeO plus O2 yields Fe2O3.
Great. Yeah, that's exactly right. Very good job.
I know. Try practice is gonna.
76.
Yeah, will.
76. Okay. List each of the 4 types of chemical reactions and give an example for each type. Okay. Synthesis reaction is H2 plus O2 yields H2O.
Okay, then you do the next one, please, Mitch.
76. Decomposition. CaCO3 yields CO2 plus CaO.
Good.
So single displacement, and I accidentally did the letters like,
Oh, that's okay. You mean like you did a general form?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
and I said AX plus B yields BX plus A.
Could you, off the top of your head, just make up one real quick?
Probably not.
The trouble with those, and this is something I was going to point
I
out.
mean,
is
I
that-
could throw some things in there, but I don't know that.
Yeah,
it'd be
let's
realistic.
think of one correctly. Just to be sure. Something we were going to talk about that we ran out of time a second time for was this reaction series on page. Bye, Mitch.
I'm right.
The reaction series.
I'm right here.
The reaction series on page 293. Look at 293 with me, please. We'll turn the one book that you're all sharing to 293. In the bottom right corner, I'm going to hold this up for YouTube. On the bottom right corner here, where's she's at? Where's she's at? There she is. 293. Here's the reaction series.
Do a magic.
Anything higher on the list will replace anything lower on the list. There's 2 separate lists here. The top list is called metals, and the bottom list is called halogens. So for instance, we could have a single displacement reaction that was sodium chloride plus fluorine gas yields sodium fluoride plus chlorine gas. They would switch, and we know they would switch because looking at our halogens list, we can see fluorine is higher than chlorine. What happens if I said sodium fluoride plus chlorine gas? What would we write then?
Wrong.
No, we wouldn't write wrong. We'd write kind of like we do for the double displacement. If there wasn't a precipitate, we would write
No reaction.
no reaction. No reaction. So if something basically, you put yourself. Can you see any part of this board?
Yeah, right,
Right over top.
Right.
Let's say we have aluminum chloride plus lithium. So is this going to have a reaction? Well, what you do, this is for single displacement only, and you can kind of see this. You can't see it at all. Al, now that you can see it, I spelled it wrong. AlCl3 plus Li yield. So will this happen is the question. You'll have ones on your test that say, look at the following single displacement reactions, tell whether they occur. So will this occur? Yeah, you do get that thing.
Okay.
Will it occur?
Yeah.
Well, what you do is you put yourself in the shoes of the thing that might bond. So what here might bond with aluminum, or it is bonded with aluminum, and might bond with lithium? The chlorine. So you think, I'm the chlorine. Here's my list rated by hotness of the people who could be my girlfriend. And then you look at it and you say, right now I'm with aluminum. Would I rather be with lithium?
Yes.
Would you? Yeah, because lithium is hotter than aluminum. So then it becomes lithium chloride plus aluminum. You still have to do the thing with the charges to make a match. And then you have to balance it, of course. So we have 3, I think that does it. Yeah. But what if we had it the other way around? What if it was LiCl plus Al? What do we write then? Well, you look at your list again. I'm chlorine. Would I rather hang out with sexy old lithium or just dumpy aluminum? You look at your list, which is rated by how much they want to be hung out with, and you find out, oh, well, actually, I'm already with lithium, which is better than aluminum, so I put no Rx in.
Maybe aluminum has a good personality.
Maybe aluminum. Yeah, well, the sexiness here was encompassing all things of a human being. Not human being.
Sexy voice.
Element.
Looks.
Yeah.
Sexy
Yep. So this is
personality.
the reason I use that disgusting analogy is because this is just like when you're at Arby's with your existing girlfriend and you're like, hey,
That's
look at that girl over there, and you're like, should I go over there? And then you have to think to yourself, and that's how Mitch lives his life. He's like,
Mitch.
Mom, stay in the car. I'm going to Arby's to get a date. Okay, next one. Does this make sense though?
Yeah.
Can you have to tell whether this reaction occurs?
Yep. As
You
long as I
already
get
know how
that
to do the
thing.
double displacement one, right? So you'll be given, to tell whether the single displacement occurs, you'll be given the reaction series, both for metals and for halogens.
Yeah, and the double, it has to be a solid, gas, or liquid.
Yep, and then for the double displacement one, you'll be given a solubility chart that'll tell you, like you look up on the solubility chart, is something here insoluble? And if the answer is yes, then the double displacement did occur. Okay, let's move on. So that was with Peyton's, and then the last one, Lily, for number 76.
Double displacement. Yep. Na2CO3 plus CuCl2 yields NaCl plus CuCl2.
Yeah, which is also, all of the ones you chose are the ones we did in the lab,
Yeah.
which is fun. Not the H2 plus O2, although we have done that. That was more fun. Next.
Under what conditions does it?
Combustion.
Conditions.
Which
I know
we
how
have
to
not
read.
finished.
Oh, yeah, we could do 76 for combustion. We don't have to, because combustion is kind of like the bastard stepchild out of all of them. Like, you don't have to include that because it kind of, depending on the circumstances, it might be a synthesis, it might be a single displacement, but we do still we do talk about it. So go ahead, Mitch, tell your example for combustion if you had one.
I don't have one.
Okay, Payne, but you did, I understand.
Well, I just had the, like...
Yeah, it can be a metal plus oxygen yields the metal oxide. It could be any hydrocarbon plus oxygen yields water and carbon dioxide. There are several different examples. But
Now you can
go, Mitch.
Under what
You have
conditions?
permission from me and the lieutenant commander.
I don't take orders from anyone.
Yeah, I bet. Not at first. Come on, Mitch.
Under what conditions does a precipitate
Mitch, could you
form?
just read it?
You read it, Mr. Prime. I'm the new boss.
Answer the question.
Under what conditions does a precipitate form in a chemical reaction? I said it forms when a double displacement reaction occurs or a single displacement reaction.
How can you tell if a precipitate will form though? Like using something like this is single displacement, but something like if you just had only the reactants in a double displacement reaction, how could you tell if it's actually going to occur?
If there's a solid.
If something is insoluble, if one of the products, if you switch them, you like hypothetically switch them, and if one of those products is insoluble, then that's how you can tell a precipitate is going to occur. Next.
79.
But
Molten metal always...
you can read it, Peyton.
I am. Molten metal always replaces another metal in a compound dissolved in water. Explain. No. A metal will not always replace another metal in a compound dissolved in water because it's based on the activity of the metal.
Yeah, the activity series. So the higher is on the activity series. A higher one will replace a lower one, but not the other way around. Next.
I've had many face masks.
Good for
They're
you.
not the special one.
In each of the following pairs, which element will replace the other in a reaction?
And this is all relating to the thing in red on the board that's right behind
That we
Peyton's head. You
didn't
can't
go
see
over.
anymore. Go on, Lily. So we didn't go over until now, so we did go over it. Lily.
In A, sodium will replace.
Yes.
Do you want me to do all of them?
No.
Okay.
You hear
80.
us? Let me yell at him.
B
They're just
is fluorine will replace them.
Yep, fluorine will replace them. Them here being.
Fluorine will replace it.
80.
Let's use the correct pronoun for iodine, please.
80C. Lead will replace silver.
Okay,
And B, nickel will replace copper.
good.
81. Classify each of the reactions represented by the chemical equations in 71. 71A, or 81A, which is 71A is synthesis.
Yes.
81B. Synthesis.
C, single displacement.
Desynthesis.
That's acceptable.
Combustion.
Yeah, it's also specific. It is a combustion one, but
both
synthesis
A
is
and-
yeah. Synthesis, I would say, is the right. Or the book says
See?
combustion. I would say I would put synthesis. It is also combustion, but remember, combustion is not like you can't really count it as a whole dang type because there's several different both because there are synthesis reactions that aren't combustion, and of course there are single displacement reactions that are combustion. But there's also combustion reactions that are synthesis or single displacement. So it's kind of a hard one to have shoved in there. I think they just put that in so that you know what combustion is like, but it's not really a good type of chemical reaction. Go on.
Write chemical equations for each of the following synthesis reactions. Boron A. Boron plus fluorine yields boron fluorine.
Boron fluoride, and did you...
Yes, I have 2B plus 3F2 yields 2BF3.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wait. It's from little 85B. Okay. Germanium plus sulfur yields germanium sulfide.
Yes, and
I
then
don't-
tell us the balanced chemical equation.
Okay. Ge plus 2S yields GeS2.
Yes, that's correct, because germanium is always +4. Thank you.
85C. Zirconium plus nitrogen yields zirconium nitride, which is balanced by 3Zn plus 2n yields Zr3n4.
You meant N2 probably. You mean 2N2? Because
2
nitrogen is...
N2.
Yeah, nitrogen is diatomic. You just said 2N, but that's okay. You have written 2N2 probably.
85D. Like earlier?
Me watching where my feet were going. Okay, next, sorry.
What? Did you have like a punch or something?
Yeah, no,
I
don't talk about it. Go sit down.
D. Tetraphosphorus decoxide plus water yields phosphoric acid, and I have
Goodness, this was a rough one.
E4O10 plus 6H2O yields 4H3PO4.
Good. Great job. You balanced it. You did a good job. Did you copy that from someone? Did you guys copy all these? You're just good at them.
Where's
We copied all of them.
Well, I
From
said I'm good
what?
at him, but
Mitchell
what's my
Slater
test?
Canode.
Yeah, right.
Don't be that.
Do you actually know how to do these? Don't tell me the
Yes.
truth.
I'm getting better. I struggled.
Good.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's really
My
good for
brain's
you.
gonna
It
show
is
my test
really
I
good for you
struggled.
to struggle with something because it makes you better at it when you struggle and then succeed. It also makes you a lot better when you struggle and fail and then later struggle and succeed. That's a way better way to learn. A bad way to learn is
Know everything
www.slater.com the worst way to know to learn is to think you know everything already, and then when you get something right you say, well, it's not my fault. You throw your hands up and you say, this is stupid, this is crap, and then you flip a table over. That's the worst
I
way.
think
Next.
we're talking about something specific.
Next.
I
Next.
never
No,
flipped
I-
a table.
There are people like
Talking
that.
about it.
Next. I think it's your turn, Mitchell.
No, I think
It's not, it's
I think
Lily's.
my turn. Write a chemical equation for the combustion of each of the following substances. If a compound contains carbon and hydrogen, assume that carbon dioxide gas and liquid water are produced.
That's a general rule for combustion. Go on.
A solid barium did 2Ba plus O2 yields 2BaO.
Good.
We're on 86.
Yes.
Yeah, B.
Solid boron.
Did you have to do 86?
Yeah,
Yes.
told us to.
Oops. Mine says 85, 87. That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you
I
did
was
it.
getting ready to flip a table, Mr. Crown.
There aren't any nearby.
That one.
No, not my little table with the mic stand on it. Go on.
86B. 4B plus 3O2 yields 2B2O3.
Yes.
C. Liquid acetone. C3H6O plus 4O2 yields 3CO2 plus 3H2O.
Good. We could do that one in the lab too. Just burn some fingernail polish remover.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
We should. Let's do that later.
Okay.
I like the
First
smell of
D.
nail polish.
Liquid
Don't
octane.
smell it. Okay.
C8H18 plus O2. Wait, no, that's not balanced. 2C8H18 plus 2SO2. 225.
I was like, either I don't know how to write S or
No,
5.
I don't know how to write S's and 5. Okay, 25O2 yields 16 CO2 plus 18 H2O.
And how much fun did you have bouncing that?
Not very much.
It is great
I don't
time.
like
It's
big
good.
ones.
It's I really. Let me tell you, the combustion ones are going to give you the worst trouble with your balancing. Of all of them. They always do. But the nice thing about the combustion ones is once you get everything else balanced, the oxygen you just put it in. I mean, there's just oxygen as one of the products. So, what can you give me an example of where would we find D occurring with the combustion of octane? And by octane, I mean octane.
In like a motor.
In like a motor, yeah. Gasoline is a mixture mostly of hexane and octane.
It says, because it says,
Yeah, it'll say something like 91 octane, which is not
Yeah.
really. You might think that means 91% octane, but that's not really it. There's an octane rating is calculated in another way, but gasoline is mostly a mixture of hexane and octane with a buttload of other minor chemical constituents that help your engine like lubricate and feel better. So you know about it. Hey, speaking of lubricate, where's that lotion that I gave you? You haven't put it on yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Tanning.
I was interested
Yeah.
to see if it actually makes you tan.
no, see
you have
what
to
it
be in the
does?
sun.
Yeah,
Oh.
it attracts, it like
It-
helps burn.
Yeah,
I think that you were going to say it attracts the sunlight. Is I think what you're going to say, which would really be wild. Like it just like the sunlight.
helps
bends
you
towards
get
it.
cancer.
Okay. Next, I was confused. I thought it was like fake tan and
It helps give you
No.
skin
That's why I
cancer.
brought it to you.
So-
Next.
It's very good for skin cancer. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Good, Mitch.
87A. Write chemical equations for each of the following decomposition reactions. One or more products might be identified. Magnesium bromide turns into magnesium bromide turns into magnesium plus Br2.
Okay.
That was confusing much, but whatever.
You're welcome.
B. Cobalt 2 oxide yields 2CO plus O2.
Yeah. 2Cu COO.
2Q.
Too cool
Next.
for school,
All
man.
right.
2Cu. That's exactly Mitch. Mitch is cobalt 2 oxide, and that's a dorky joke to describe the coolest person in school. Go on, Lily.
That's right. you guys are all
Wait,
right.
it says C.
Coolest cat.
Okay, C. Titanium 4 hydroxide is titanium 4 oxide plus water. Okay, titanium hydroxide.
Titanium 4 hydroxide. But I think it wants you to balance it now, so just go ahead and
Okay,
say
so
it. Just so you
okay,
can balance it.
TiOH4 yields TiO2 plus 2H2O.
Good.
D.
Let's get cracking because I want to get through all of this.
Is the titanium 4 oxide plus water, is that one of
That
them?
was the previous one.
Barium carbonate yields barium oxide plus carbon dioxide. D. BaO plus CO2.
Yeah, but BaCO3 yields BaO plus CO2, right?
Yes.
Oh, I just didn't do that part.
88.
Well, I did it, but I didn't say it.
Write chemical equations for the following single replacement reactions that might occur in water. If no reactions occur, write NR in the place. A. Nickel plus magnesium chloride. MgBr2 yields Ni plus MgCl2 yields NR, no reaction.
No reaction. No reaction because nickel is lower than magnesium on the...
So he already has a good enough girlfriend.
she already has a good enough boyfriend. Hey, we don't have to be sexist. Or we don't have to be homophobic. She already has a good enough girlfriend. You never know. It doesn't matter. That's just a good way to think about it. Next. What's a non-sexist, non-weirdly romantic way we could talk about that?
There isn't one.
Pardon the interruption.
We have to go down.
Come on, Big L.
All staff
That is on
and students,
video.
please report to the auditorium. All staff.
5 minutes?
That's goodbye time.
Yeah, that's the end of chemistry time.
Gym time.
So